Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's the past, the present, and the future on display here at Lambert Park this beautiful Sunday afternoon as APIA Leichhardt host Sydney United in this round 23 NPL Men's New South Wales clash. And why the past? Well, these are two teams with rich footballing heritage and history who are parts of the NSL. They are now powerhouses in the NPL competition and soon to be Australian Championship contenders, but also both of these two teams into the round of 32 in the Australia Cup. It is APIA Leichhardt against Sydney United. A big clash on offer here. Two teams with lots to play for. And after last night's results, APIA Leichhardt with a victory here will go only 1 point behind the league-leading Northwest Sydney Spirit. David Perkovic doing wonders at Christie Park at the moment. They keep defying the odds. They keep going. And at the moment, they sit top of the table, level on points with Marconi. What a season they are having. But APIA right in the chase, right behind them. They know that a win here puts themselves right in the mix for the premiership. Sydney United, on the other hand, well, they occupy the finals position, currently sitting in 6th place, but they've got a plethora of teams waiting for them to slip up and waiting for the opportunity to jump above them. Currently, Sydney Olympic 1 point behind on 33 points. The Wollongong Wolves and St. George FA both on 32, 2 points behind Sydney United. And that is why United cannot afford to drop any more points. They come into this game off some really, really poor form. Winless in their last 4 starts. They broke a 3-match straight losing streak with a 0-0 draw last week against the Wollongong Wolves, but they go 4 games now on the bounce with no victory, and that is why Olympic have been able to close the gap, which was considerable at a few weeks ago. As our match officials take their places, we'll run through the lineups for you now quickly. For the home side, in goals, Oliver Cullarts. Back 4 of Cameron Fong, Michael Kuda, Dredon Kelly and Sean Simmons. Anchoring the midfield is Joel Bertolicio. And ahead of him will be Fabian Monge and Eddie Caspers. And a front 3 of Rory Jordan, Presley Ortiz and Seiya Kambayashi. And a few kit issues here for Oliver Cullarts. I actually think there's quite the colour clash with the officials as well. And that doesn't seem to be the problem. The problem were the shin pads, it seems. As Stephen Lucas is just about ready to get us underway. Presley Ortiz will kick the game off for APIA Leichhardt. For Sydney United, in goals, Vedran Janjetovic, and backfall of Bailey Rule, Adrian Vlastelica, Michael Glasic and Anthony Krlic. 2 midfielders anchoring Anthony Tomalic and Carlos De Oliveira. Ahead of them, Aiden Militric, and a front 3 of Leroy Jennings, Marko Arambasic and Mason Wells. And it's the home team immediately on the front foot. Clearing away, though, was United, and Sean Simmons, bit of acrobatics there to come away with the ball. Spreads it wide for Seiya Kambayashi. Forward now for Monge. Cross comes in, and it's come off the bar there. And Janjetovic would have been worried there for a moment. Cameron Fong was looking for someone in the area, instead almost found the top corner. Very early warning sign there for Janjetovic and Sydney United. ball gets played all the way back to Cullerts, playing against his former club here this afternoon. Monge can't get on the end of that, and picked up by the experienced Tomilic, who comes into the squad, the only change from last week's team. Tomilic in for Mario Chabal, who suffered a car accident. We hope he's well. That is why he's unavailable for selection this afternoon. And also just the one change from Franco Parisi. That one coming straight swap between Jack Stewart going to the bench and Rory Jordan coming in his place. Decent crowd here in today at Lambert Park as well. As we said, this is the future. Two teams that will be a part of the Australian Championship, and we saw the Australian Championship trophy on display as well. The players walking out with that earlier on as Bertolicio picks the ball up and tried to play it long, but was closed down by Adam Basic, and illegally, says Stephen Lucas. Kelly, absolute specimen is tread on Kelly. Was watching the team warm up at the start, and absolute machine. On the ball now is Kelly, looking for an option, and Kambayashi was the target. The pass didn't get there though. And now a ball played forward for the pacey Jennings. Got there ahead of Caspers. Wins the throw. De Oliveira will more than likely play a little bit more advanced with Chabal unavailable this afternoon. Saw him in the cup final playing a holding role. Here he is. Early touch for Militric, but Kambayashi intercepts. Plays it central now for Bertolicio, who's looking for Jordan, but playing it slightly behind the winger, and the ball will roll out for a throw. But as he's showing, hasn't lost his touch with a neat little flick there for Bailey Rule. Simmons loses out there to Mason Wells, sorry. Free kick goes the way of APIA. Kura, I'm used to seeing Kura operating as a wing back, but slotted in well as a central defender, showing his capability to move across the defensive line, and I'm certain would also be able to do a decent job in the centre of midfield if required. A futsal route, good technical ability. As Rule makes one of those marauding runs forward by him. Simmons slides in, and it'll be a corner kick for Sydney United, the first of the afternoon. Goes the way of the visiting side. And Glasek straight away in on Cullerts, ensuring that he knows that he's here, and there's a bit of push and shove in the box as well. It's a little early for that. We haven't even hit the 5th minute mark yet, but definitely a little bit of push and shove. Vlastelica and Glasek both getting in there, and Vlastelica had a handful of Cullerts' jersey. Real pressure on the keeper. Cross comes in, and great refereeing from Stephen Lucas, trying to intimidate the goalkeeper. In the end, corner comes to nothing. Lucas was right there in the thick of it, gave fair warning to the United players, but they kept on going, and in the end blows his whistle. Free kick, and a chance wasted really for Sydney United. Here is Kura, square for Kelly, and takes his touch forward. Kambayashi, well, there was no one there in support. Both Monge and Kaspers had gone a little far advanced, and a big gap in the middle, and just raising his hand to apologise there is Kambayashi. Get it away by Tomilic. Bertolicio wide for Simmons. Flick forward. Monge on the turn, and Kambayashi making a forward run. Fong will get to this one first. Searching for the forward run of Monge, and it was a good idea, a good run, but was never going to get there, Fabio Monge. And that one from Bailey Rule, one to forget. Straight into the bench of APIA Leichhardt. Kelly on the turn. Kambayashi comes centrally to pick that one up and sprays it wide now for Fong. Good forward pass there from Fong, but Kasper's unable to control it. Here's Adam Basic with the flick, former Spirit player, and there's another former Spirit player in the United lineup today, Richie Darko on the bench. Been a long time coming for Darko. Suffered injury early on in the season, and it's taken him quite a while to recover. As Jordan gets on the ball. Both of those would be wishing they were still a part of Perkovic's team. What an incredible season they've had, though. I think if you'd asked anyone at the start of the season for a top six, aside from me, I don't think anyone would have put Northwest Sydney Spirit in, but did I myself expect Spirit to be challenging for the premiership? Absolutely not. Very welcome change of names in that top echelon of teams in the New South Wales State League. Almost intercepted pass there, but makes its way through to Vlastelica. And Jennings closed down by Kaspers. Militric, tough pass back for Glasic, and Ortiz will put some pressure on. Janjetovic clearing away. Did commentate that Waratah Cup final that Sydney United won against the Northern Tigers, and Janjetovic seemed to injure his shoulder there, but thankfully he's recovered well and lines up in goals again. And I said it there, still very, very fit, and he slotted in very well, a proper professional. Ball forward now for Simmons. Gets advanced, good low cross in, and Glasic had to deal with that. APIA get their first corner now of the afternoon. Kambayashi goes over to the far side to take this corner now. Kelly and Kuda both go forward. Kuda's been so dangerous this season, scored a number of goals already. Had a brace last week, and the cross is there for Kelly. Falls back for Fong on the volley, but Fong pulls it wide, and that was a great opportunity for the home side. Ball just didn't seem to fall for Drayton Kelly. Made the right run, got himself into the right position as well. And then Fong with the follow-up volley, sending it just wide of Janjetovic's goal. Reprieve there now for the visiting side. And Wells, I thought he kept that in there. He would have done well to keep it in. Last touch though off him. Throw in for APIA. Simmons. Good ball in between a couple white jerseys to find Kelly. Kambayashi has the run of Monge ahead of him. Instead chooses to keep possession. And Kelly there getting a little too cute, losing possession, but recovering well, only for De Oliveira to come back across. And another great cover challenge from Dredon Kelly. And APIA and Macron have been partners now for a few years, and I have to admit, APIA generally coming up with a number of nice kits and always coming up with an Australia Cup kit as well. And this will be their Australia Cup kit, the one that they're wearing here this afternoon. A very nice looking kit. Of course, APIA will take on Melbourne City in that competition, a blockbuster game set for Leichhardt Oval. If you haven't bought tickets, make sure you do so. APIA have done it before. They're able to knock off the big dogs, and they'll be expecting to do the same again. They've got such a young quality side here as well. First, they'll need to defend this free kick after Kelly found Adam Basic. De Oliveira standing over the ball here. Free kick from a very good position as well. Not too far outside the box. Something now for Cullerts to have to deal with. And De Oliveira goes direct into the wall. Falls for Glassick. What a chance for the central defender. He will be so disappointed with that finish. A proper centre-back finish, to say the least. Really should have found the target, and if he did, there's no way Cullerts was going to save that. What a chance for Sydney United. The best of the game so far, no doubt. As Vlastelica plays it back for Janjetovic. Here's Simmons. Twisting and turning, plays it back for Kelly. Now Kuda. Both teams having good chances now. United with a better one. And how about that? It was a nice little layoff there for Jordan, but too much on the pass. It'll be a goal kick. Action for round 24 kicked off on Friday night. Western Sydney Wanderers on the Sydney Derby by 2-1 against Sydney FC and Illingdon Sports Centre. And then yesterday, and we'll leave one till last, but the Wolves defeated Manly United 2-0. St George coming from behind to beat Marconi 2-1, a massive win there. Blackdown City defeating the Sutherland Sharks 2-1 as well. But all eyes were on the match of the round at Christie Park, and Northwest Sydney Spirit, an absolute first half clinic. Led 4-0 after the first 45 minutes against Rockdale Illingdon. In the end, another 5 goals in the second half, but only 3 went the way of Rockdale. And Spirit and David Perkovich recorded a 6-3 victory. Sent them top of the league with Marconi losing at Penshurst Park. Today, 3 games including this one. The Central Coast Mariners and St George Saints currently in battle. It's the Saints that lead there by 2-0. And when we get our first goal of the afternoon here, Jordan cuts it back for Ortiz, who goes down, and Lucas waves it away. Did go down fairly easily, did Ortiz. Good call from Stephen Lucas from our angle. Not too many complaints either from Ortiz. Final match of the round kicks off at 5 p.m. as Sydney Olympic host the Mount Druitt Rangers. As I said, Olympic fighting to find their spot in the top 6. Mount Druitt fighting for their survival. Coaching change as well. Andy Montgomery replaced with Ben Rollison as Simmons winds back the years with a silky touch to get behind his defender, but good defending from Rule. Here's Kambayashi now. Back for Bertolicio. Gets his head up and doesn't find an option. Has to go back to Kambayashi, and well defended by United. Kutar reads that well. Kelly brings the ball down and calms things down. Kuta drives forward now, can't find the pass to Kaspers. Look to foul there by Jordan. Bertolicio all the way back to Kalatz. Now Kelly, who's under pressure and confident enough to turn away from Militrovic. It's incredible that at the start of this game only 4 points separated the top 4 teams. The Premiership will be alive until the final day. And Ortiz got up well there, but couldn't find the teammate with his flick-on header. Should APIA come away with the 3 points, then the gap at the top will close to 3 points within the top 4, and APIA only 1 point behind the leading 2. The leading 2 who do battle next Saturday at Marconi Stadium. The Palace will host Northwest Sydney Spirit in that top of the table clash, and all eyes will be on that. If Spirit can come away with 3 points there, they are the last team to also defeat APIA. APIA currently on a 5-match winning streak. They destroyed Rockdale last week by 4-1. Beat Western Sydney the week before. St George, Sydney FC and Blacktown all have fallen as Ortiz drives forward now to make it 6 wins in a row. Ortiz gets in the area, right across goal, and Rory Jordan didn't gamble there. It was a good ball from Ortiz. Was begging for someone to run onto it and tap it home. Sydney United have their own big game next week. They travel to Illingdon Sports Centre where they face a wounded Rockdale Illingdon. 2 big defeats in consecutive weeks now for Rockdale as well. Conceded 10 goals in their last 2 games. United will look to heap on the misery. That one's grown into quite the derby match as well. While APIA, they travel to the bottom place, Mount Druitt Rangers. Here's Kuda driving forward. Finds Jordan, who couldn't bring the ball under control. Now Bertolicio. Fong expecting the pass and gets it. Kuda square for Kelly again. And heavy touch there from Kelly. Puts Kambayashi under pressure, but did just enough, did Kambayashi. And now Bertolicio in a good position. Cuts it back for Ortiz on the volley. Blocked by Glassick. And now Fong had a go as well. Tell you what, Fong's effort looked good from here, but was blocked in the end and makes the foul now, Cameron Fong. Former Sydney FC junior, spent last season at St. George. FA before making the switch to Lambert Park. Ball sent forward toward Arambasic. Nice flick there from Monge. Caspers now combines with Monge. And Ortiz peels away to the left. Options arriving in the box now. Ortiz goes himself. Cuts it back for Jordan again. Well defended once more from United. But too easily now on a couple occasions. APIA Leichhardt have driven down the byline and found some space for a ball back. And you can't imagine if they allow too many more of those that someone won't be running onto it in a maroon jersey. Warning signs, no doubt, for Sydney United. Arambasic, first time pass. Here's De Oliveira. Now Jennings. Closed down and closely watched by Cameron Fong. That was nice from Ortiz. And Ortiz will get there ahead of Vlastelica, but he's all alone and there's 4 white jerseys around him now. Ortiz has a lot to do. Chooses to play the ball back for Bertolicio. Now Jordan. Leaves it for the APIA number 8 as Fong dummies that one for Kambayashi. Jordan, nice football from APIA, moving the ball swiftly. Here's Monge. Jordan gets his head up, has a look. Still Rory Jordan goes down, wins the free kick. It's a bad challenge for De Oliveira. He's claiming he won the ball, but it looked as though he got a lot of Rory Jordan first. And APIA now, well, we spoke about De Oliveira having a free kick in a good position, but this one, about a metre or so closer. And perhaps the perfect spot to get a free kick. It was a good, confident run forward from Jordan, trying to put the United defence under some pressure. And Seya Kambayashi stands over this one. Janjetovic measuring up his wall, ensuring they're exactly where he needs them to be. And the wall looks somewhat disjointed from Sydney United. Can Kambayashi take advantage of that? Tried to go up and over, get it to drop, but never got that drop in the end. Ball just wouldn't come down. Straight over Janjetovic's bar. Goal kick for United now. Janjetovic sends it long. Monge wins the header. Ortiz loses out and the ball falls the way of Militrovic. Haven't seen much of Aiden Militrovic in this game. Tomilic read that well. United come away with possession. Here's the captain, Vlastelica. Krlic continued his run, picks it up from Jennings, and Krlic delivers a good ball in the area, and Kuda had to be aware to that with Arambasic sneaking around the back post. Cleared away by Simmons, only as far as Tomilic, but couldn't find a teammate. And Vlastelica straight into the crowd. Bertolicio for Kura. Driving forward is Michael Kura. Finds Simmons. Jordan's there in support. poor delivery from Simmons in the end. Lifts his hands up apologetically. The Mariners have pulled a goal back. It's now 2-1 at Bloom Park. Half an hour gone there. Still not quite there here. Kalic plays it forward. De Oliveira trying to keep it in. De Oliveira heading it forward for Jennings and gets it back from Jennings. Still De Oliveira. Back for Krlic. Into the feet of Jennings. Cuts it back. Good ball from Jennings, but well intercepted. Here's Tomilic now. Spreads it wide for Rule. Advanced Bailey Rule. Milicevic to Wells. Cross comes in. Kullatz came. Kelly headed away, and Kuda blocks. It looked as though it came off the hand of Kuda. No whistle. Lucas stopped instead for a moment, but no whistle came. And how about that for some neat footwork by Mason Wells, and wins the corner for United. A bit of pressure here from the visitors. Started with that cross into the box. Kelly and Kullatz both went for it. Wasn't well enough cleared. Shot came back and Kuda blocked. Corner now for the visitors. Their second of the afternoon. It's a good ball in. Kullatz came and flapped at the ball. And now cleared for Ortiz. Kilic trying to keep pace with him. And Kilic does well there. Possession now for United. And Simmons will see this one out for a goal kick. Franco Parisi called for sexy football in his pre-match interview. Expected a good game of football here today between two very good teams. Vlastelica heads away. Kuda. Can't find the run of Simmons. And Rule can't control the ball either. Kelly. Here's Bertolicio. Fong. Tomilic comes away with it, plays in. Adam Basic stepped on the ball there, Adam Basic, and left it for Milicevic. Now Apia come forward. Here's Kambayashi. Fong overlapping. He gets the ball now. Cameron Fong has a look up. Where are the options? Blocked by Tomilic. And Vlastelica chips it up toward Adam Basic, who brings it down and plays it back to Bailey Rule. And that long ball will fall to the feet of Oliver Kullatz. Vlastelica clears away, headed on by Tomilic. Looked a high foot there from Jennings, but Jennings continues on. Good run from him. Adam Basic does just enough to find Wells, and this is danger time now. Mason Wells back for De Oliveira, and United lead by 1-0. A swift counter, and that's how you finish. Excellent work from the front line of Sydney United. Finished off by Carlos De Oliveira. bursting through midfield and expertly finishing beyond Oliver Cullarts. And Sydney United will now lead here at Lambert Park by 1-0. It was lovely work from Jennings and Arambasic, who put his body on the line to flick the pass on to Wells. And then Wells aware enough to see the forward run from De Oliveira. And De Oliveira makes no mistake with the finish. United lead by 1-0. 32 minutes in. Here's Kelly. Clips it forward, but no one there in the maroon jersey. And Jordan asking the question, who to? Vlastelica. Milicevic. Kambayashi and Bertolicio combining. Vlastelica clearing away. Kelly now heads it on. Arambasic battling away with Kelly. Jennings, now De Oliveira. And again, nice combination. Arambasic square for Wells. And Wells just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball there. Seemed to have come up more off his ankle than his foot, as he would have liked it to. And Kaspers comes away with it. Tomilic missed the ball. And Kaspers drives, continues his run. Closed down, Krilic clears. Good sweeping up there from Anthony Krilic. Jordan wins the corner. Second corner of the afternoon for APIA. The first caused a few issues for United. Kambayashi to deliver again. Bertolicio comes short. Training ground move, this one. Kambayashi sizing up. Arambasic cuts it back. Kasper's got it back in the area. It's a poor clearance from De Oliveira that he gets away with. Someone's down here for United in the box. Vlastelica's got his hands on his... Sorry, it is Vlastelica, hands on his head. This could be a serious injury. And so does De Oliveira. This is not good. And Tomilic just saying he's done. I'm still not sure who's down exactly. Now checking for the ACL, so I think it could be Leroy Jennings that's down. I think that's why the hands and the heads from the United players, they know the injury issues that Jennings has had over the years. And this will be so tough to take, and they are calling for a substitution. This is not good for United and definitely not good for Leroy Jennings. Best wishes with him. We hope it's not serious. But Leroy Jennings will take no further part in this game. That is such tough news to take for him. Fiji international as well. And on comes Finn Ballard McBride. Ballard McBride, a mid-season acquisition. Number 13 jersey. Straight like-for-like swap. And we really do hope that the Jennings injury is not serious, but best wishes with him. And now a chance for Wells. Kelly was caught there, and Kuda gets back, got a touch on that, and Bertolicio made an important clearance as Kambayashi tries to go the other way. Cleared out now for a throw. Ballard McBride getting involved. Beaten to the ball by Bertolicio. Fong overlapping. Picks it up here on the right wing. Kaspers holding off Vlastelica. Now Monge. Simmons takes it forward. Good work from Simmons again. Sprays it wide for Jordan. Trying to get it back, and Simmons ran out of space there. Goal kick for Sydney United. We're 5 minutes left of the first half. We'll no doubt have a couple minutes of time added on with the injury to Leroy Jennings and the goal that United scored as well. As Janjetovic gets us restarted with a goal kick. Here is Bertolicio, being very involved for the home team, making a lot of forward runs as well as Fong finds Ortiz, and they couldn't quite link up as they would have liked. Glasek under pressure from Ortiz. Vlastelica clears up high and wide. Arambasic can't get beyond Kelly, but wins the throw for his team. Going down too easily there. Arambasic waved up by Lucas, and again Lucas waves off the United complaints. Here's De Oliveira. Forward for Glasek, almost sold him short there. Rule in a very good position. Gets the ball in, and Kelly let it bounce, and questionable defending there. Letting the ball bounce inside the 6-yard box, but now APIA can counter the other way. Krilic intelligently slowing down Kambayashi off the ball. And Casper's now running into trouble. And Lucas allowing the game to flow. Rule for Wells. Great combination, and Rule just couldn't find the pass to Wells there in the end. It'll be an APIA throw. Here's Wells. Jordan. Forward for Kambayashi. Ortiz lets it roll for Caspers, but well stepped out there by the captain Vlastelica. United, as I said, 4 games without a win. They lost to the Mariners and to Spirit and to Marconi before that 0-0 draw last week with the Wolves. In between all that, though, they were crowned Waratah Cup champions. 1-0 win over the Northern Tigers. At Plume Park, though, Central Coast have now made it 2-2, fighting back from 2 early goals down to go into the break at 2-2. They're in stoppage time there, though, so still it's a bit of time for the scoreboard to change further. Nenjetovic rolls it out to Vlastelica. Back for the United keeper. Glasek plays it forward. Ortiz was late on the challenge. No whistle though, and Monge plays it forward for Ortiz, and Glasek, intelligent defending. They've given it away again though, United, and a bit of extended pressure now for the visitors as Fong gets forward. Ballard McBride gets back in time as well. Bertolicio turns away from Milicevic. And Kambayashi, delightful pass for Fong. Across goal, Caspers puts it wide, and a disappointing attempt from Eddie Caspers. Lovely work from Kambayashi to thread the needle for Cameron Fong, who made the fine run forward. And Fong's ball as well, in the end, can't say anything else but perfect. Caspers really should have done better. And United escaped there in the final 30 seconds of the first half. Arambash is doing well to hold off Kelly, who had his hands all over the United striker. Kelly not happy with the call, but it's pretty obvious that had a handful of the striker's jersey. Long ball sent now toward Wells. Drops in the area. Kuda clears. Tomilic gets there ahead of Caspers. Long throw taken for Ortiz. Glasek there again. Milicevic tried the flick, didn't get there. And now Caspers. Jordan still down. And Ortiz runs that Rule. Ortiz beyond Rule. Kambayashi, and not sure if Vedran Nenjetovic knew too much about that. He won't care though, because he made the save. Another opportunity late on in his first half for the home team. I think we're going to be in for some game in the second period. Milicevic gets a yellow card for the late challenge a little earlier. The first yellow card of the afternoon. Will APIA have one more chance to threaten this United defence? Bertolicio, first time pass forward. Ballard McBride with his first touch, but it's a poor one. Passing straight into the feet of Dredon Kelly. Here's Bailey Rule. Looking for Adam Bashich Kudo across to chest that down for Simmons. Jordan. Ortiz couldn't turn away from Glasek, who once more was up to the task. And what a ball from Glasek for Ballard McBride. Ballard McBride loses his feet there, lost control of the ball. What an opportunity that was for the substitute. Perhaps not fully warm yet, having come on for the injured Jennings. Bertolicio wide for Simmons now. And Jordan wanted it played forward, stays on side. Simmons there in support. He got clipped and a silly foul to give away. I think Wells just didn't see Simmons had made that overlapping run. Didn't expect it perhaps. Stuck the foot out and Simmons is still down. I'm sure he'll be up. It's just an age thing. The veteran will make his way up slowly. Happens with old age. Becomes a bit more difficult to get up every time you get taken down. Still a quality footballer. The man that wears the armband this afternoon for APIA Leichhardt. Brother moved to the Bonnyrigg White Eagles after many years of service of APIA Leichhardt during the mid-season transfer window. Here's a chance for Kambayashi to put Janjetic under some pressure. Vlastelica heads away. And that'll be that for the first half, as Sydney United go into the halftime break leading by 1-0. A very nicely worked goal from the visitors. Carlos de Oliveira finishing off an excellent counter-attack for Sydney United. At the break here at Lambert Park, it's APIA Leichhardt 0, Sydney United 1. The players are back out for the second half here at Lambert Park. Sydney United currently leading the home side. APIA Leichhardt by 1-0. Carlos de Oliveira opening the scoring on the 32nd minute. A very well taken team goal by Sydney United. Laid off by Mason Wells after some great work from Leroy Jennings on the left wing. But not long after, Jennings' afternoon was called short. A serious injury to the left winger meant that he was substituted by Finn Ballard McBride. And we hope for the sake of Jennings the injury isn't serious. And we see him on a football park not too far away. Well, chances at both ends in the first half. APIA with a couple key opportunities late in the first period as both Monge and Kura slip over, and Ballard McBride opens his Sydney United account less than 60 seconds into the second half. Sydney United have doubled their advantage as Monge and Kura slip. Ballard McBride punishes, and Sydney United are 2 to the good at Lambert Park against APIA Leichhardt. What a start to the second half for Ante Juric's team. They couldn't have hoped for a better beginning, and they are in cruise control now. APIA has a mountain to climb, but a mountain to climb with 45 minutes of time remaining. The fans hadn't even taken their seats back after the halftime break before Ballard McBride made the run, got on to the end of the pass and placed it beyond Cullarts. Here's Kuda now, looking for Jordan, but forced to play it out wide to Simmons. Rule back for Wells, closed down by Ortiz, who was lively in the first period. And Parisi will go to the bench soon, but it's United that's got players warming up at the moment. I thought that Franco Parisi would have looked to his bench. He hasn't done so just yet. Here's Kambayashi. And that's a clear foul there. on Kaspers. I think it was Tomilic that ran into the back of Kaspers. They've taken it quickly. Monge and Bertolicio. Here's Kambayashi. APIA has Anthony Butsanis, Franco Farinella, Jack Stewart, Adrian Ucino, Maxim Kasalovic and Alex Denmead on the bench. As Jordan picks up the ball in the area. Thought about the pass for Simmons. It's still Jordan. Kaspers goes down and cleared away by Glasek. United have Josip Orlovic, Richie Darko, Liam McGing, Stephen Derabillard and Joshua Attard available. Should Juric require to go to the bench, as it's a good ball from Kaspers, but blocked by Glasek and picked up by Janjetovic. Bertolicio driving forward. Back for Bertolicio again, now Monge. Kambayashi almost getting it out to Bertolicio. Fong for Monge. Good ball into the feet of Bertolicio. Jordan gets there. Jordan! Wide of the top corner. Good run. Intricate passing there from APIA. It's better. And they need to be better, as Farinella is sent to warm up. And Arambasic uses his body well, but Kura defended even better and comes away with the ball, finds Kambayashi. Ortiz wants it played through, but too much on that for Presley Ortiz from Seiya Kambayashi. Cleared out by De Oliveira. Right on the top of our heads here. Here's Kelly. Wide for Fong. Forward by Simmons for Kaspers, who would just get there, and well, in fact he didn't. Goal kick, ball had already gone out before he got there. Kura. Vlastelica forward. Bertolicio. Ball forward there for Wells, but Kura picks it up now. Cullarts for Kelly. Back to Cullarts, and they're playing themselves in a bit of trouble here. Handball there from Kura. Got away with that, did Michael Kura. And Simmons can't take it into his stride. Special mention before these substitutions take place to Paddy Antelmi, who's working on his tan somewhere in the Mediterranean. Sydney United obviously not missing him at all here today. As Kelly's replaced by Maxim Kasalovic for APIA. They've made their first change now. And Bertolicio will slot into the centre of defence in his place. Kasalovic into the anchor in midfield. Kambayashi for Bertolicio. Kambayashi picks it back up again. And Kambayashi, in frustration, kicks that one into the crowd. Lucky to escape without a yellow card there, Saya Kambayashi. As Aiden Milicevic is replaced. Liam McGing comes in his place. And Cullarts there with a speculative pass out of his own box. Got away with that quite luckily, I'd say. Here's Simmons. Shot there from Bertolicio. And Vlastelica clipped there by Jordan, and Vlastelica kicked out at him too. He's very lucky he didn't connect there, Adrian Vlastelica. Otherwise he'd be tanning with his mate. And tell me, would have seen red, no doubt. Very, very lucky. Professional foul there from Jordan. He knew he was going to go into the book. Had to stop the counter. Did so to the displeasure of Vlastelica, who's gingerly made his way back to his feet. Here's Kambayashi. Story of APIA's second half there. That pass. Simmons Sending it forward. Can't get it behind Bailey Rule, who sends it on to Marion Street with the clearance. Simmons forward. Here's Jordan. Forward for Caspers. Running away from goal though, and can't even win himself a corner. And Simmons gets beyond the couple. Will he win a corner at least? He doesn't do so either. Goal kick to United. This will all play into their hands as APIA look to make a double change. Cameron Fong comes off. It looks as though Eddie Caspers will also make his way off to be replaced by Jack Stewart. I'm surprised Alex Denmead hasn't been caught upon yet. Denmead scored 2 goals in his last 3 appearances. Off the bench for Franco Parisi's team, but not caught upon as yet. Flicked on here for Wells. Good challenge from Kura. It's just not working out for APIA at the moment, and United seem pretty comfortable dealing with any attempt they have put to get forward. Glassick now in midfield, gives that ball away, but Monge returns the favour. And luckily comes away with it. Stewart, square pass for Kura, drives forward into the space. Stewart back on the ball again, gets his head up, a bit too far to have a shot at goal. Monge, wide for Kambayashi. Here's Farinella, ball got stuck under his feet, headed square by Bertolicio. Loose pass, Kasalovic reacting well. Jordan for Kura. Working so hard, De Oliveira putting Kura under proper pressure. And De Oliveira asking where the rest of his teammates were, and too much on that pass for Farinella to get to. Goal kick for United. Headed on by Kura. Comes straight back by McGing. Wells. And Wells still going. Mason Wells. Kambayashi had to react there. Great run from Wells. Been one of United's best players this campaign. Scored some key goals as well. Here's Monge. Drives through midfield. Stewart. His pass doesn't find anyone but Vedran Janjetovic, who'll take his time. Forward for Arambasic and Bertolicio getting caught there. I think that APIA may have been in trouble had Arambasic broken through. De Oliveira will line this one up. The one he took in the first half wasn't a great attempt, but took a deflection off the wall, fell into the path of Glassick, and I think Michael Glassick is still unsure how he didn't find the back of the net. De Oliveira goes direct, and that one bouncing right in front of Carlatz, but the keeper comfortably collecting in the end. Vlastelica. Here's Kambayashi. Kasalovic switches play for Simmons. And Bailey Rule comfortably deals with him. Arambasic really putting his body about. Cross comes in, good ball, Jordan! What a finish from Rory Jordan. And how about the ball from Jack Stewart? Delightful delivery, and Jordan with a fantastic volley finish. Vedran Janjetovic had no chance there. As Parisi brings Jordan off after scoring that goal. That was a lovely volley. And the ball was even better from Jack Stewart as Alex Denmead comes on now in place of Jordan. He's limping somewhat. What a way to exit the pitch. Scoring a goal to put your team right back in the game. Here is Stewart again. This time his pass is cut out by Ballard McBride, but he gets it back. Monge for Ortiz. What a turn! Ortiz! And APIA strike twice in 60 seconds to level the scores here at Lambert Park. What a turnaround from the home side. First Jordan, now Ortiz. And we're level once more. But how about the turn from Presley Ortiz? Completely put the United defence out of place. And the finish buried into the back of the net. And it's 2-2 now at Lambert Park. Game on. The changes have worked wonders for Franco Parisi and APIA Leichhardt. Can United bounce back here now? Simmons clears away. Vlastelica switching toward Wells. And Denmead does enough. Now Simmons clears with a weaker right foot. Vlastelica again with a diagonal pass, finds De Oliveira. Took that down so well, did Carlos De Oliveira. But across came Farinella to clear. Throw taken by Rule. Flicked on by Glasek. And Arambasic into the back there of Kasalovic. Kuda. What a turnaround though. Game looked done and dusted. United in fine control of the game. APIA didn't even look like scoring. And out of nothing, Jack Stewart sets up Rory Jordan. Moments later, Jack Stewart again. And here he is once more. Stewart chipping it over toward Denmead, but just a little too high for him. And you feel that APIA could turn this one around all the way on its head, as the Mariners have at Plume Park. They lead 3-2. Pass into the feet of Ortiz. Simmons now into the area, goes down. There were more shouts from the crowd than the players for a penalty, as Bertolicio comes across and plays in Stewart again. What an injection of life Jack Stewart has been, and over the bar with that effort. Here's Vlastelica now, clipping it forward, read by Kuda, and they're reading everything now. The centre backs of APIA forward for Denmead. Well tracked by Bailey Rule, cleared away. Headed down by Kasalovic. He's been a good substitution as well. Here's Kambayashi. Forward for Monge, who hasn't given up on this. Vlastelica had to be aware. And Monge biting at the ankles. Vlastelica clears away. Bertolicio battling away with Arambasic. Across comes Kuda to support. Rule under pressure from Denmead. Gets it out to Wells. And Simmons. And Simmons somehow keeps his feet there. Couldn't find the pass though. There's still 20 minutes of action to go here. Kambayashi. Stewart. Ortiz came short and Kambayashi stopped the run. Stewart saw it. Sent long by Janjetovic. Arambasic flicks it on. Simmons should get there ahead of Wells. Now Denmead. Runs out of space and into the fence goes Alex Denmead. Stephen Lucas just ensuring that Denmead was okay there. Simmons flicks it over for Denmead, and Kasalovic confident in possession. Here's Monge. And Apia's played out of that so nicely there. And Kambayashi's got space if Stewart can find him, and Vlastelica had to get a touch there, and Janjetovic was waiting on the line. Couldn't come out and collect that. Strong tackle on Ballard McBride by Kasalovic. Cross comes in from Vlastelica. I think the last touch there came off Simmons. It'll be a corner for Sydney United. Wells will deliver. Cross comes in now toward the near post. Simmons heads away. Couldn't beat that first defender. There's so much confidence now in the APIA team, in particular playing out from the back. What a couple goals can do for the confidence is incredible. Here's Bertolicio now. And with him moving into the centre of defence, we've got a bit of stability. APIA. Here's Simmons. Looking for Denmead. Good ball from Simmons. Denmead brings it down. Kambayashi in support. Monge just kept it alive. Now Kambayashi. Great ball for Denmead. Across goal, and good block there from McGing, but APIA will come again. Kasalovic opens up and plays it wide to Stewart. Now Stewart running at Kalic. Kalic this time gets the block in. As I said earlier, these two teams both will take part in the Australia Cup. APIA take on Melbourne City at Leichhardt Oval in a week's time, or 10 days' time, just about. Sydney United come up against their Waratah Cup final opponents, the Northern Tigers. Cross comes in, it's a good ball, headed away by Vlastelica. Now Farinella. Monge back to Farinella. And the pass is off there from Stewart. And Arambasic will be replaced now by Stephen Derabillard. Put in a good shift. Arambasic's father also played for Sydney United back in the National Soccer League. Stewart forward for Ortiz. Battling away with Vlastelica. Last touch comes off the central defender. APIA continue the pressure. We're inside the last 15 minutes now. Will either of these two teams find a winner? United were in cruise control, 2-0 up, and looking so good to break this run of 4 games without a win. And Franco Parisi brought on the likes of Maxim Kasalovic, Jack Stewart, and Franco Farinella, and the game turned from 2-0 down. APIA brought themselves back to 2-2 in the space of 60 seconds. Goals to Rory Jordan and Presley Ortiz cancelled out. Carlos de Oliveira's first half strike and Ballard McBride's goal at the start of the second period. And now de Oliveira finding Ballard McBride. APIA getting back in numbers. But Ballard McBride beats Kuda. But Kuda recovers and wins the ball back. And now Kambayashi. Space here for Stewart. Kudlic working hard to get back and slow Stewart down. Ortiz wants it played forward. Stewart closed down there by Tomilic in the end. And Tomilic in an advanced position now. Derabillard wants it played to him in his feet. He picks it up. Stephen Derabillard drives into the area and just couldn't turn away there, Mason Wells. But United get possession again. Vlastelica with the diagonal searching for Wells, headed away by Simmons, and Monge now turning away Ortiz. Denmead loses out, not too comfortable there. Glassick winning the ball off him. Ballard McBride now operating centrally with Derabillard's entry. Glassick searching for the run of Rule, but the flag's raised. Rule put it wide anyway. Denmead tried to turn away from Glassick, but Glassick lost the ball. Simmons. Cullis comes out and picks it up. Kudlic intercepts Kambayashi's pass. Simmons loses out there. Wells almost caught in possession in a dangerous area. Here's Kasalovic. Bertolicio wide for Stewart. Ortiz waits in the area. Already got one this afternoon. And they're stepping very high here, APIA. Need to be careful. If they lose possession, United could snap them on the break as they did in the first half. Farinella switches play to Stewart. Stewart crosses in. Ortiz somehow saved by Janjetovic. Ortiz never got the connection he wanted, but still, the ball was goal bound. And Janjetovic with a reflex save slaps the ball out for a corner. APIA almost taking the lead. Stephen Lucas unhappy with the Sydney United 20s warming up behind the goal, asking them to just hold off until this corner is taken. Kasalovic comes in short. Kambayashi ignores him. Delivery to the near post. There was a push there by Ortiz. Bertolicio for Stewart. Has a go on the left, headed away. And Janjetovic does well to keep it in, but hot potato there for a moment. Ortiz standing up and creating problems for the United keeper. Vlastelica. Played it fall for Derabillard, and look at that from Bertolicio. So confident in possession, and a player you most definitely would love to see get an opportunity in the A-League. Has a lot of quality. As Stewart now runs toward goal, crosses, finds Simmons at the far post, comes back in again. Kambayashi leaves it for Stewart. Playing tennis here, Stewart and Simmons, as Stewart goes for the top corner. That was very, very close. And APIA really putting on the pressure now. Will one of these teams finds a winner? More still not out. All the way back to colour to go Simmons. And Collard sends this one to his opposing number, Janjetovic. Tomilic searching for Rule. Nice header from Rule to Ballard McBride. That's a handball there, I thought, from Rule. Lucas disagrees. Wells. Ballard McBride. And Rule's offside again. One more match to go in this round. Kicking off at 5 o'clock, Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt. Vlastelica forward for Ballard McBride. Couldn't bring it under control. Farinella got up well there, but the ball falls the way of the visitors. Here's Dara Billard. Back for Glassick. Now Rule. Wells. Ballard McBride. Nice football from United. Tomilic first time pass for De Oliveira, but Kambayashi came across. United win it back again. Here's Glassick. Wells doesn't usually give possession away, but does there. Now Farinella running the counter. Feeds it through for Ortiz. Tough pass. Ortiz manages to get there. Up against McGing now. Presley Ortiz into the area. Ortiz cuts back onto the left. Tried to go back on the right again, but too much from Presley Ortiz. Bailey Rule back to help out defensively. And Kula read that well, but bounce went in the way of United, as it didn't there for Dara Billard, and that'll be a card for Dara Billard. Juric encouraging his team. And Franco Parisi shooting off Ante Juric on the far side. Desperate to get a goal. APIA are as Stewart driving forward. Almost threading the pass through for Ortiz. And look how hard he's worked since coming on. Wins it back, finds Simmons. Committed challenge from Sean Simmons. Krilic was there to clear away, and De Oliveira. If Simmons is putting in the hard yards at one end, De Oliveira is most definitely doing that at the other. Working tirelessly is Carlos De Oliveira. Kasalovic now has a bit of space and time in the middle. Picks his pass for Jack Stewart. Started this one on the bench. Already laid off one. Denmead in a good position. Alex Denmead has his shot blocked. Simmons tried to feed in Stewart. Kasalovic for Farinella. Simmons beats one, goes down, wanted the foul. Didn't come, and Simmons stays down. APIA do have one more player on the bench able to come on. It is Adrian Uccino. In fact, APIA has already made their 3 windows of substitution, so Uccino won't be able to come on. Ball over the top for Kambayashi. Glassick for Company. Kambayashi. Back for Stewart. Been involved in everything. Kambayashi. Head up and cross is blocked. And De Oliveira clears ahead of Jack Stewart. And the Mariners have assured victory at Plume Park. They now lead 4-2 with only minutes remaining. What a turnaround that one, and will we get a turnaround here as well? Corner for the home team. Kuda, who's found the back of the net on countless occasions this season, has a double last week Scored one in the dying minutes there as well, albeit from the spot. Can APIA find a winner? Cross comes in and just bounces on the penalty spot more or less. Kasalovic. Bertolicio crosses in toward the far post. Headed away. Now Ballard McBride for Sydney United. Can they get a goal late on here? Tomilic. De Oliveira. Nice football from United again. And down goes Mason Wells, and Kuda gets a yellow card. Swiped across the legs of Mason Wells. Hands of apology raised from Kuda. And De Oliveira will stand over this one. Krlic told to stand back and offer some balance as McGing and Glasic and Vlastelica all come forward. De Oliveira delivers the free kick. Good ball in, but Kalat should claim that. Throws it wide for Stewart. Kambayashi. Kasalovic back for Bertolicio. We're into stoppage time now as the fourth official raises the board. 3 minutes of time added on. You just don't want this one to end. There's been so much action. Kuda finds Denmead, who's got space. Plays it wide for Simmons. And Simmons takes it in, keeps on going, goes down. No foul. And, well, Janjetic came to pick that up. McGing took it off him. And the pressure remains here for United via Alex Denmead. Kasalovic chips it forward. Farinella trying to turn McGing. And McGing does enough there in the end to win his team a goal kick. It looks as though we're heading for a draw here at Lambert Park. Ballard McBride for Wells. Dero Billard on the right side now as Wells operates down the left. Forward for Tomilic, and that pass is off. Tiring legs now from Tomilic. Stewart forward for Ortiz, but McGing should be all over this. Cuts it back for Janjetovic, and Monge didn't give up on it. Here come APIA once more. Is this their last opportunity to perhaps create something? There's 90 seconds remaining. Simmons. Great ball forward for Denmead. Denmead across goal, cleared by Vlastelica. Excellent ball over the top from Simmons. Stewart. Now Kuda. Simmons has space. If Kuda finds him, he does. Here is Simmons now, playing it through for Monge, but a tired pass from the captain, and Kasalovic. Well, I thought he took out Wells there, and it is Kasalovic might go here. I think it's his second. No, in fact, it's his first. I thought that may have been Maxim Kasalovic's second yellow. Early ball played for Dero Billard. Heavy first touch. Simmons, the veteran, uses all of his experience there. As we move into the final 30 seconds, Vlastelica reads that. McBride, can United win it at the death? Ballard McBride for De Oliveira. Now Dero Billard. And Simmons reads the pass. Stewart plays it forward. Now Denmead in a foot race with Tomilic, and Tomilic clears it out. Janjetovic wanted it played to feet. That is the 3 minutes of time allocated. Done and dusted as Stephen Lucas brings this exciting game to an end. The spoils are shared at Lambert Park. APIA Leichhardt 2, Sydney United 58 to A fantastic game of football. The visitors led after the first 45 minutes. Carlos de Oliveira opening the scoring just after the half-hour mark. And within 60 seconds of the second half, their lead was doubled. And substitute Finn Ballard McBride popping up and making it 2-0. But Franco Parisi rang the changes after that. And quickly, APIA found 2 goals in the space of 60 seconds. First, Rory Jordan volleying home after a beautiful cross from one of the substitutes, Jack Stewart, who had a major role to play in the second goal as well with a fantastic run through midfield. This time, Presley Ortiz with some individual brilliance, shaking off the United defence before blasting the ball beyond Janjetovic. Full time here at Lambert Park in this round 24 clash for the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. APIA Leichhardt 2, Sydney United 2.